This is Rebecca, the Steampunk Planner. I stated that once a month I will be doing some artwork, and here it is. We're going to be working in my wonderful leather book by Melissa, and she has the company Reimagined by Luna. I will be using my Christmas gifts that I received, one of them being this wonderful portable water cup. It pops open and closed. The bottom is plastic. The rest of it is more of a rubber, a hard rubber, so it's great and it doesn't leak. I will also be using the Binicini, I think that's how it's said, I am probably wrong, brushes that I received. Now we're going to start off with the Daniel Smith colors. I received Daniel Smith, which is the Profil, and again, I apologize if I'm saying this wrong, Profil Sawant's Master Brush Set. So in this set, I have the Undersea Green, the Burnt Sienna Light, Raw Sienna, Ultramarine Blue, Pierrot Orange, and New Gamboge. Again, sorry for my pronunciations. As I get set up with this, I wanted to let you know a little bit, just a quote from the artist. I love to capture the light and atmosphere of a scene in my paintings using natural tones and ultramarine blue. So that is from Profil Sawant's Master Artist Set. And he is from India. So thank you for sharing this set with the Daniel Smith artist. This is my first time using Daniel Smith. Now I've got the Benici brush, which I've already got it cleaned and supple. My ceramic bowl, which yes, still has ink in it, but I have open areas. And we're going to get started. Now I was surprised that the paints do not have the seal on it. In a moment I'll show you, but I want to get started swatching. I'm only going to do one circle for each, so I'm going to blend. I'm going to do more of a solid color and then add water. Now each of these, except, let me see. No, each of these are going to granulate. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So I have added water and cleaning my brush to remove some of the water so that I can see what the granulation is, because I overdid it. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful yellow. It's more to me, or for me, an ochre yellow. And there I showed you with the orange that it did not have a seal on it. So I was a little surprised on that, but it still works. And that little bubble of paint that came up to the top is the only thing that I'm putting in. I'm not putting a large glop of paint down because this is watercolor. I will be able to reactivate it and they should last. This is such a high quality paint that I should have no problem reactivating them. So here I've put down the solid color and I am going to go back in and remove some of the watered area so I can get the granulation. I am really enjoying using this. The paints, the pigments are very smooth and easy to work with, at least with these colors so far. They are actually rather sheer. The orange is a little bit more opaque, but they are rather sheer, which I appreciate because that makes it easy to do blending and as well as doing painting that will allow me to show all of the colors through, which you'll see at the end what I'm talking about. Now, I did find that the burnt sienna and the raw sienna were a little more on the not wanting to budge side, as in definitely a lot thicker, and when more water was necessary for it. But I do love the colors. Raw sienna and burnt sienna are some, and burnt ochre are some of my favorite colors. So I am enjoying using these, but as you can see, I definitely need to add more yellow to this. I'm sorry, I said yellow, water. When you add water to something or when they create their mixtures, they will put in something that's considered a vehicle, and that is what gives the product slip. My adding more water to this is the vehicle so that it can slip. So I just wanted to let you know because that's a word I use often when I'm talking about paints and inks. So the last color I'm using right now is that beautiful green, and it's the undersea green, and honestly it comes across almost a gray green, and it's a little on the thicker side, not as easy to maneuver as the first three were, but the colors are beautiful. I love the moodiness of the darker and the brightness of the three lighter. So I'm going to use this box now to just sample out what exactly how these paints interact with each other and with me. So I'll be using the number 4 round tip, which is what I use to swatch Benishi. I think I'm getting used to saying it now. As well as the Futu brush in 12. I'm sorry, that's not 12, that's 16. And also the round to the point. And I'm only going to be using this to make sure I've got enough water with my colors. Now I did overwater this, and you can see it here as I'm adding in the orange. This is a multimedia paper. This is not watercolor paper in any stretch of the means. So I started getting the little peelies, which all you need to do really is to back off in the water in that area, let it dry some, brush off the peelies, and get back to it. So far I have used the ultramarine blue, I have used the new gamboge, and now I am using the burnt sienna light combination with the raw sienna. I'm really enjoying how this still gives me the intensity and also shadowing, as well as allowing the water to disperse in the granulation. It's really pretty, and yes, I'm doing the age-old Bob Ross, let's throw a tree in here. You know what? We need to ground the image. Not everything is up in the air. And sometimes to make it joyful and pretty, you have to throw a tree in there to ground it. So that is the undersea green. And I am going to let it dry, come back, and add a little bit more using the Pyro Orange to really bring out that sun and the beam rays. Pop into that blue to accent that a little bit more. But I'm doing this because I want to introduce the image I'll be using this for. Can't wait to show you. It is in my work planner. I showed you, I believe, at the beginning of January. If I haven't, it's because I haven't gotten to all of January's videos, but I'm doing a Phoenix for January in my work planner. This is because this is a new year, and I'm dusting off the old year, bringing in new. Here is Frogger McFroggerton, and we're going to get started. I've got a board below, and I'm going to speed this up. So I am starting off with the new gamboge, and with a phoenix, it rises from the ashes. So the wings are going to be full of fire, and I'm actually going to create more of a smoky ash of the face. So we're going to do one side, and then we'll pop over to the other side, move forward. And one of the things that I'm doing here to get this effect is after I've laid down the solid area, coming in with water and dispersing it. And as the paper wrinkles, whatever my brush hits is what is painted. If it's got a dip, I don't get that in there. That's just how I'm doing it. Now, after a day of drying, and it doesn't need that long, I just have other things that I need to be doing, so I set it aside. I have added my Coffee Monster paper clip. I still have my paints in my ceramic bowl, and we're getting back with the Benichi and starting with the Pyro Orange. With the gold, this gives me more of a brighter red than an actual orange, but that is also perfect because a fire is a mixture of red, orange, and yellow. Now that is not at its hottest point, but it is the brightest, most dramatic point of fire. So I am really taking the time to etch out the flame for the head because it is not going to be this bright color. And I'm going in and deciding exactly where I want all of the flame textures with this orange color. I'm doing the same thing as I did with the yellow, which is outlining exactly where I want it and then using water to blend it out and soften it. So it's really, really bright at the edge and then it blends out as if this phoenix is flying. Again, using the textures of the rippled paper for this to hit in specific areas, and then I'm going to go farther and add a little bit more fire into the wings. I'm doing this just to create a little bit more depth and brightness. Coming back to just emphasize some areas that I felt needed a little bit more of a punch, and then I'm going to go in, really wet down my, clean out my brush, and with a wet tip, dry, making sure this is really dry, I've mixed the burnt sienna, raw sienna, and the undersea green for this. The undersea green is really great for deepening those colors. I'm using the ultramarine blue on the sides of the head. It's not eyes. You'll see later, I'm hoping what I'm doing. I want that the hottest, almost hottest part of a fire is blue. The hottest is always white. And then you'll see smoke. So I want there to be a blooming around the face. Adding more of my mixture from before and just blending that out. Making sure I'm not losing too much of it by the orange getting in there. It's really easy to reactivate watercolor, so be aware. I'm going to use my Futu brush, wet the edge down because now I want to bring in that blue again, but it's not going to be solid. It's just going to be nice and soft, adding a little bit more of a smoky texture as well as letting you know that is really a hot area and leaving the rest to stay white. I'm going to come into the flame of the head and pull the blue through so that again we have the depth, we have that what's part of the head is really the hottest area, and it is the smokiest as well as with a lot more ash. As I blend everything out, adding just a little bit more orange and then leaving it there. I want to make sure that it does stand out against the brightness of the wings. Adding a little bit more of the undersea green to deepen the nose because I really, really do want that ash effect. I'm adding a little bit of color in water so we have some smoke coming off. And this is my Phoenix for my work planner for January. The next art piece that I'll be doing is January's Paint with Mona's beautiful set. So here's the finished Phoenix, that beautiful blue bloom around the face. And I want to thank you for joining me. I look forward to doing more painting and digital work with you.